Hello everyone. Today this discussion aims to discuss the environmental repercussions of gem mining in Sri Lanka, which is done as a research in the case study area of Jayewardenepura with contribution of Dr. Sumudu and me. As you know, most of the countries in the world have sustained with the valuable mineral resources, and in this context, Sri Lanka is famous for gem industry since ancient period of time. Most recently, Sri Lanka has excavated the world's largest gemstone, which is known as the Queen of Asia, in the year 2021. Also, in this graph, you can identify the annual export income of gems in Sri Lanka in last decade. In Sri Lankan context, Sri Lankan miners practice number of methods to excavate land to find a gemstone. But these methods of gem mining have generated an obnoxious impact on the environment. Moving to research program, in my case study area, gem miners practice four methods of gem mining techniques as tunnel gem mining, record gem mining, river gem mining, and open pit shelling. These four methods of gem mining have its own positive and negative impacts, and the negative impacts we can identify environmental impacts, health impacts, and social impacts. In the case study area, the environmental impacts are higher than health and social impacts. Thereby, by taking this as my research problem, I have suggested some remedial measures to control identified environmental impacts in the case study area. Moving to the research objective, the main objective of this research is identification of the environmental repercussions of gem mining activities in Sri Lanka, and to reach this objective, I have generated three sub-objectives as identify the gem mining techniques used by gem miners in Sri Lanka, determine the environmental impacts of gem mining, and finally, identify the solutions to avoid the environmental impacts of gem mining. Moving to the literature review, the literature review of this study has generated considering the history of gem industry in Sri Lanka, economic benefits of gem and jewelry industry, impacts of gem mining activities under the perspective of social health and environment. Consider the first topic under the literature review, which is the history of gem industry in Sri Lanka. Simon Gemham have mentioned Sri Lanka has a proud history of gemstone in ancient period of time, and the Naga kings entrusted thrones were crafted by gems in 540 BC. Thereby proved that Sri Lanka has a gem industry with a history of around 2,500 years. Sri James have mentioned the Persian and Middle East traders have known as Sri Lanka as Vale of Serenity in the ancient period of time. Moving to the second topic of literature review, which is economic benefits of gem and jewelry industry. Sri Lanka Export Development Board have mentioned the gem and jewelry industry in Sri Lanka plays a vital role, and it directly impacts to economic, cultural, and social development of the country. While Shoda and Vijay mentioned, in 2014, Sri Lanka exported colored sapphire gemstone, which took a percentage of 70 by value. And if you can remember, the most recent example I have mentioned in earlier, the gemstone, which is known as the Queen of Asia, has a weight around 310 kilograms. With that, you can get an idea about the value of the gemstone. In this graph, I have summarized some of the health impacts and social impacts which I have identified through reviewing past literature. They are under the health impacts of drug and alcohol abuses, hazardous substances and waste generation, risk of death and accident in the beach, collapse of hanging walls can be cited. Then under the social impacts, violent conflicts, demographic and human rights, drug and alcohol abuses, employment and education can be cited. Moving to the methodology, the population of this research is consisted of gem mining lands, and out of that, I have selected 15 gem mining lands as my sample. Consider the data collection method. I have done some observations in the gem mining lands, and discussions were conducted with landowners and miners as my primary data collection methods. As secondary data collection methods, I have referred journals, articles, books, reports, and websites which have done related to gem industry and its impacts. For the data collected through primary data collection and secondary data collection instruments, we analyze using narrative analysis of qualitative data analysis. When it moves the result and discussion, I have achieved my first objective. by identifying three methods of gem mining in my case study area. The first one is tunnel mining. Normally, tunnel mining is proceeding mostly with manpower, and vertical tunnel is excavated up to depth of 30 feet to 60 feet. And horizontal tunnel is excavated towards any direction according with miners' perception, and construction of tunnels were done using stems of trees. In this figure, you can identify the elevation of tunnel mine. Then second one is echo mining. This is this is a mechanical way of gem mining which was introduced to Sri Lankan gem industry in the year 2017, and their excavations are done using backhoe machines, and excavations are done up to a depth of 55 feet to 60 feet. There, the impacts of backhoe mining is greater than tunnel gem mining because it is not only impacted to the subject land, it is also impacted the adjoining land. In this figure, you can identify the section view of backhoe mining. Then third one is river mining. This is a novel method of gem mining that was introduced 100 years ago, and there selection of the appropriate version of river is done by auctioning among gem miners. And after selection of appropriate version of river, the scaffold is constructed across the river. Normally, the construction and scaffold are done using instance of tree, and in this gem mining techniques, miners use a hoe which has a long holder with a length of 10 feet. In these pictures, you can identify the river gem mining that I have observed during my observation. My second and third objectives I have reached and summarized in this table. There, in tunnel gem mining, I have identified contamination of groundwater and surface water, erosion of soil, deforestation, soil becoming infertile, loss of bearing capacity, loss of animal habitats as environmental impacts. To control these environmental impacts, I have suggest some remedial measures as discharge of the water to separate waste, improve the extraction technology of the soil, rehabilitation of soil, replanting trees, proper class of tunnel pit, impose penalty for hunting animals. Then, under backward in mining, erosion of soil, land become useless, loss of biodiversity, threat to the underground living organism, and loss of stability of the soil have identified as environmental impacts. To control these impacts, I can suggest proper course of the mining, introduction of regulations framework, adaptation of rehabilitation measures, replanting trees, regulate illegal mines, and regulation of excavation activities, etc. And finally, there I have identified two environmental impacts under the river gem mining as combination of water and deforestation. To control these environmental repercussions, I can suggest separation of contaminated water by much as possible, and replanting trees as remedial measures. But most important thing is that there should have strong regulatory framework to control illegal mines that are proceeding in case study area. So finally, as conclusion, I can say industry have gives a remarkable benefits to a country, and it directly impact to its development. And but the gem extraction techniques have impacted to the land, environment, and other sectors in various ways. And in my case study area, I have identified some of the major environmental impacts as deforestation, loss of biodiversity, loss of habitats, contamination of water, erosion of soil as most common impacts in my case study area. And to control these impacts, it is essential to adaptation of remedial measures, and it is essential to introduce a strong regulatory framework to overcome from these environmental repercussions, not only in the present but also in the future. So I think you may able to get an idea about the environmental repercussions in Ratnapura due to the gem industry, and I think it's time to wind up this discussion. So thank you all.